Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're having a wonderful one out there, a gorgeous day. I appreciate you all joining me here. As today we listen to a little Tiger Moth Tales. We're going to listen to this track, Winter is Coming, and Winter Maker. Kind of two tracks, but one's more of an intro into the next. This is going to be off of their album, The Depths of Winter, released 2017. These are the first two tracks on the album. We're listening to this because it was suggested and sponsored by Dustin. Dustin, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it a lot. Really appreciates all the support. Thank you so much. Okay, so Tiger Moth Tales, I actually could not tell you where. I've seen the name. I've seen the name of this band around. I have no idea where I've seen them, how I've come across their name. I'm looking at the discography here, and none of it looks familiar. None of the album covers look familiar. So I'm actually not quite sure how I'm aware of the name, at least, but I am. But I can't definitively say I've ever heard anything from the band. Either way, we're going to go ahead and listen to this track. It's on YouTube, not on Spotify. We'll discuss it a little bit after. Here we go. I like how melodic those hits are. I love that synth. Kind of pulls everything into it. And that cool 7/8. It's because of that pitching up and pitching down. It kind of pulls.
Winter Maker, bring your fury to where we know your story. Time to pay once again. Grateful for the season's end. Old man Winter, there you stand, unforgiving with iron hand. What we did, we'll never know. Our price is death or face the snows.
It kind of reminds me of some of the neo-prog bands like Flower Kings and Marillion a little bit in a certain sense.
Praise wind spirit, foe or friend. May the springtime come again. Every year you raise the stake. Spirit give and spirit take.
I love all the keyboard and piano work around here. That was a very jazzy note. flattery on the end of that line.
Old man winter, cruel or kind, to the suffering, are you blind? We must brave your punishment and pray your rage will soon be spent. For spring must come, or we are done. The weakest die, the mother's young. Pray we'll still be standing strong. The tune of death, the cruelest song.
That chord sequence is really strong. Is it a little flugelhorn? Very slow, chilly kind of epic. It moves in its own pace. Not a rush at all. This is a very catchy and melodic solo slash climax. Okay. See that chord sequence is so jazzy. This is used a lot in jazz.
Learn appreciation, strength.
gonna say that wasn't it.
And when the winter's through, will there be life for me and you?
I actually really like the way that this epic kind of built up, and I kept mentioning it during the track, but it kind of stayed at its own pace. It wasn't in a rush to do anything, and I like how as it worked towards its heavier, more bombast moments, they could barely be described as bombast. There was something a little bit more humble about this. It wasn't trying to add in some. I mean, we got a pretty nice guitar solo at the end. But it wasn't trying to add in like some heavy guitar riffing in, the climactic moments to like, build this big kind of charge or anything. It actually kept very, I would say in a sense, true to the heart of itself, of the song itself. And I really like the keyboard work, the piano, the synths, the organ, like all of that. I liked all the key-based instruments here and how they played. There's almost a little bit of a jazz-ish tone to some of the chord changes in there. I like how, the song is Winter is Coming, Winter Maker, and some of the keys sounded very icy and chilly, especially as the singer was singing. Sometimes there would be like little icicles that would drip in the background that kind of sounded a little bit to me like the musical embodiment of those icicles, like very chilled keys. And I love that. I thought the atmosphere was built very nicely. The guitar solo at the end was just this ripper. And then halfway through, the music did change, right? You had the first half that kind of just dropped out. And then you had this little synthy pulse that began. And when that first is beginning, my mind is always, okay, we just totally stopped what was happening in the first half, switched gears, and we're moving to something completely different. And it is. And it does have a completely different sound and tone and, nature of its own. But it works very well, I think, in maybe not the exact transitional moment, but in what comes after. It's still satisfying. It still works together with what was played before. I love what I can only assume was either flugelhorn or trumpet that was played in that very climactic moment there that, like I said, wasn't ruined by huge distorted guitars or a solo at that moment. It kept true to its cold heart, I think. And the singing in here, I mean in delivery, not vocally in the actual tone of the voice or anything like that, but the actual delivery reminded me a lot of Peter Gabriel and kind of hitting some similar spots as like, I don't know, I was thinking of Merlion and Flower Kings for some reason. Once again, not necessarily in how it sounded, but maybe in approach more so than anything. So looking at this track here, let's see. The only thing I didn't love was the production of the drums. They felt a little flat to me, if that was the only thing I could say, looking at it. So I'm pulling up the Prague Archives page, because that's how I get some of the personnel here, which I have to admit is extremely impressive, because it's one guy. So Peter Jones, vocalist, keyboards, drum programming, that explains it. Guitars, clarinet, recorder, ukulele, percussion, composer, and producer. Well, that explains a whole lot. It's a one-man show for the most part. To me, that's so impressive. I mean, that should be impressive, I think, to anybody. But that is just really cool to pull off something like this and to create a piece of art like this and music, just one person handling all of that, and to a fantastic degree, is really, really cool. Obviously, you do have some other members here. Emma Friend on flutes, some brass, euphonium. There's your flugelhorn, I told you. And then you do have lead guitar from Luke Mackin, who I'm assuming is playing that solo at the very end, which is definitely leaning towards more of a progressive rock, progressive metal kind of ripper of a solo there at the end with all the I always say those machine cries is how it sounds to me. But I thought that was a really cool track to listen to, and I really enjoyed. It's only one person handling that. Now let me see really quickly if I can pull up the lyrics. I did forget to do that as I was getting everything here prepared, but maybe we can do that here really quick. Shazam, do you have anything for me? about this track? You do not. Okay. Just kind of Winter Maker. I mean, I heard the lyrics. I was listening. I just like to read them directly to see if so we can go over them and kind of dive into them. Winter Maker. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so I'm on the Bandcamp page. Here we go. This is perfect. Winter Maker, bring your fury to well we know your story. Time to pay once again, grateful for the season's end. Old Man Winter, there you stand, unforgiving with iron hand. What we did we'll never know. Our price is death or face the snows. So winter, when it comes to seasonal metaphors, winter is always death, of course, so makes quite sense here. Praise wind spirit, foe or friend, may the springtime come again. May life come again. Every year you raise the stake, spirit give and spirit take. Old Man Winter, cruel or kind, to the suffering are you blind? We must brave your punishment and pray your rage will soon be spent. For spring must come, or we are done. The weakest die, the mother's young. Pray we'll still be standing strong, the tune of death, the cruelest song. Winter is harsh, especially, before technology and shelter and heating and, things like that. Winter is the harshest season, and unfortunately, many lives were lost and such during it. Hard lessons through the seasons, we must learn appreciation. Spring grants us absolution, almost like forgiveness, right? Bow your heads in servitude, ready to show your gratitude. Hard master, you stand in judgment. How might we earn your blessing? Hard times are just beginning. Wind spirit, we must appease you. Show your thanks, get on your knees. And when the winter's through, will there be life for me and you? And looking at the picture here, I can't help but imagine that, these look like some natives. I can't quite say of which descent, but I mean, they are preparing as best they can for the harsh winter, if their shelter and their clothing and everything, and they are just hoping to make it through. From what I can imagine, that was a really, really cool track. Really enjoyed that. I like how it all built up, and I love the keyboard work especially. I think that was, to me, the one of the biggest standouts in here. Just the melodies, almost like the melodies. I mean, not end yet. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the music, Dustin. Thank you for the recommendation and the support. I appreciate that. Enjoy the rest of your day. Come back tomorrow and watch out for those sweet, sweet melodies.